Greetings, my friends and fellow enthusiasts of the garden. If you're someone who, like myself, discovers tranquility amidst the blooms, delight in a newly sprouted seed, and a touch of wonder in the morning air, then you've certainly come to the right spot. Whether you've spent decades with your hands in the earth or are returning to gardening during retirement, a warm welcome to Evergreen Seniors, the place where we transform common household items into something quite extraordinary. Creating beauty just outside your residence doesn't demand a large expenditure or the agility of youth, merely a spark of ingenuity, some overlooked items from around your home, and an enduring affection for nature. Stay with me, as today we're exploring 12 ingenious garden enhancement ideas designed specifically for people like us. And listen, if you find value in what I'm sharing, feel free to click that subscribe button to ensure you catch the upcoming installment of Green Thumb Motivation. All right, let's commence our growing journey. Tip 1. Wooden crates repurposed as garden shelving. Attractiveness without the aching back. Let's begin with something straightforward and intelligent. Remember those classic wooden crates often seen at farmers markets? Perhaps you have a couple lying dormant in your garage, simply gathering dust. Well, it's high time they were revitalized. Stack 2 or 3 against a wall or your garden fence. Fasten them using a few screws or some garden wire if stability is a concern, and presto, you possess rustic, appealing shelves ideal for herbs, gardening implements, or even several potted blossoms. This is an excellent solution if your knees aren't quite as cooperative as they once were. No need for squatting or digging, just simple reaching and placing. The finest aspect? You can position them at a height that's comfortable for you. It's functional, it's attractive, and it converts disregarded items into elements of character. Just this one minor adjustment begins to make your garden feel more personally tailored. Tip 2. Cake tins transformed into bird baths, a welcoming spot for avian visitors. Now, for a bit of enchantment potentially hiding in the depths of your kitchen storage, an unused cake pan. It might possess a few scratches or perhaps hasn't baked a cake in ages, but refrain from discarding it. Simply take that pan, position it atop an inverted flower pot, a solid tree stump, or even an old occasional table, and you've fashioned a charming bird bath. Replenish it with clean water, place a small, flat rock in the center as a landing spot for birds, and situate it in a shaded, tranquil area. This subtle addition introduces vitality to your garden in the most serene manner. You'll likely be astonished at how swiftly the sparrows and finches discover it. And for us seniors, observing birds flitting about, particularly while enjoying a cup of tea, ranks among those uncomplicated pleasures that remain timeless. Tip 3. Colanders utilized as hanging planters, featuring integrated drainage. Okay, let's venture back into the kitchen briefly. Have you ever puzzled over the fate of those older metal colanders consuming valuable cupboard real estate? The ones dotted with numerous small perforations? As it happens, they are ideally suited for plants because, naturally, those openings provide inherent drainage, eliminating one task for you. Simply insert a lining of coconut coir or burlap, fill with potting mix, and plant your preferred flowers or perhaps some cascading ivy. Next, affix several robust chains or employ a macrame holder if available and suspend it from your porch or a garden hook. You have just fashioned a vintage-inspired hanging planter with a dash of retro charm at no additional expense. It's lightweight, brightens the space, and elevates your plants, which invariably proves easier on our backs and knees, a modest concept yielding significant allure. Tip 4. Convert an old walker into a portable potting station. Clever and meaningful. Here is an idea that is both useful and carries a touch of sentiment. Do you, or an acquaintance, possess an old walker stored away in a closet? Perhaps it's no longer required, or maybe it awaits a fresh role. Well, grant it one. Utilize that walker, lay a wooden plank or even an aged serving tray across its upper handles, and suddenly you have equipped yourself with a mobile potting station. It's light, stable, and positioned at the perfect height for working while seated. No need for bending over or transporting heavy supplies. You can easily roll it to a sunlit area in your yard. Place your small implements and seed packets on top, and utilize the lower framework to hang gloves or garden twine. It represents a wonderful method for repurposing an item that once provided support and can continue to do so, albeit differently. This embodies the essence of gardening, doesn't it? Discovering new life in unforeseen places. Tip 5. Shutter panels employed as vertical garden backgrounds achieve height effortlessly. You are familiar with them. Aged wooden shutters found leaning neglected in a shed or discovered at a second-hand shop. They might exhibit chips or fading, yet for us garden cultivators, they represent invaluable resources. Position them upright against a fence or wall, apply a fresh layer of exterior paint if desired, and instantly you possess a vertical garden element without investing in costly structures. You have the option to hang small terracotta pots from the louvers, affix hooks for your hand tools, or permit climbing varieties like sweet peas or morning glories to intertwine through them. This suggestion proves particularly beneficial for those of us managing compact areas or who favor gardening in an upright position without stooping. It elevates the beauty to eye level, where enjoyment is maximized, and the most advantageous part, it transforms something aged and disregarded into a backdrop teeming with vitality. Tip 6. Milk crates utilized as stackable vegetable plots. Construct upwards, not downwards. Very well, here is a technique especially useful if bending and digging have transitioned from pleasure to labor. Milk crates, indeed those robust plastic containers formerly used for transporting books or vinyl records, serve as outstanding miniature raised garden plots. Simply line the interior with landscape fabric or even an old pillowcase. Introduce potting soil and plant your leafy greens, strawberries, or various herbs. Arrange them in stacks 2 or 3 units high if you wish to completely eliminate the need for bending. They possess minimal weight, are simple to relocate according to sunlight changes, and permit rearrangement as needed. Furthermore, they impart a delightful modular aesthetic to your garden, resembling small garden drawers poised to cultivate something tasty. Ideal for porches, patios, or any location where space is limited, but your horticultural inclinations persist. Tip 7. Glass jars, fashioned into garden lanterns. Illuminate your evenings. Now for something genuinely enchanting. Should you possess some surplus glass jars, such as pickle jars, jam jars, or even mason jars, refrain from discarding them. Allow them instead to infuse your garden with a warm radiance as evening descends. Simply insert a tea light. Battery-operated versions are highly effective and safer, or coil a short strand of fairy lights and place them inside. Subsequently, suspend the jars from low-hanging tree limbs, hooks affixed along the fence, or merely position them on steps or tables dispersed throughout your garden. As dusk settles, your entire outdoor area acquires a gentle, inviting glimmer. It transcends mere prettiness. It fosters tranquility, the sort of serenity that envelops you akin to a comforting blanket. And for us older individuals, it introduces both allure and enhanced visibility for those evening walks or peaceful moments spent reading outdoors. Uncomplicated, calm, and sourced directly from your recycling container. Tip 8. Repurposed cutlery as plant markers, infusing whimsy and recollection. Now for an endeavor that injects both distinctiveness and utility into your garden. Do you own an old spoon or fork that has become separated from its set? Perhaps a bent butter knife possessing too much charm to be thrown out? Transform it into a plant marker? Your sole task is to flatten the handle using a soft strike from a hammer. Rest assured no specialized equipment is necessary. Then, inscribe the plant's name onto the metal surface with a permanent marker, or perhaps apply nail polish for an added touch of panache. Insert it into the soil adjacent to your tomatoes, basil, or marigolds. Instantly, your garden cultivates not merely sustenance, but narratives. It serves as a delightful means to incorporate elements of your kitchen or personal history into the garden space. And for those among us who occasionally misplace the memory of what was planted where, these small markers prove more beneficial than one might initially assume. Tip 9. Teacups serving as miniature planters. Sip, appreciate, and cultivate. Let us return to the kitchen once more, if you please. Should you possess several cracked or non-matching teacups, those too attractive to discard yet no longer completing a set, fret not. They are poised to become highlights within your garden. Merely fill each cup with a small amount of potting soil and gently place a tiny succulent herb or even a vibrant flower like a pansy within. Arrange them upon a garden shelf, your front porch railing, or an old tray situated near your preferred outdoor seating. This involves no strenuous lifting or digging, just minor, delightful accents that introduce color and vitality into plain sight. And frankly, there exists a certain charm in bestowing upon your garden its own version of afternoon tea, a measure of sophistication, an acknowledgement of the past, and substantial character. For us elder gardeners, these petite arrangements render gardening feel achievable once more, even from the ease of a porch swing. Tip 10. Picture frames as garden decorations. Encapsulate the beauty you've cultivated. Now, this particular idea is a personal favorite, and it is as straightforward as it is striking. Are you familiar with those aged picture frames stored away in closets or found in thrift shop bins? The ones showing some signs of wear, perhaps lacking their glass? Do not dismiss them. Apply a fresh coat of paint to the frame, perhaps something vivid and cheerful, or alternatively, soft and rustic. Then suspend it directly onto your fence, prop it against a tree, or even affix it to a garden wall. This generates the impression of a living artwork, framing a section of flowers, a trellis draped in vines, or possibly even a small garden gnome. You might also employ it to support mesh or chicken wire, enabling climbing beans or sweet peas to grow directly through it. It constitutes art that flourishes. How about that for ingenuity? And the finest aspect? There exists no definitive right or wrong approach, merely requiring a bit of imagination and the readiness to perceive something old through a fresh perspective. Tip 11. Foldable laundry racks for herb drying. Effortlessly preserve your bounty. Let's discuss the harvesting period. If you have cultivated rosemary, lavender, mint, or any similar aromatic herb, you will desire an uncomplicated method for drying and preserving them. And consider this. That aged foldable laundry rack situated in the corner, it is precisely the instrument needed for this task. Suspend bunches of herbs inverted using clothespins or clips. Position the rack in a sunlit, airy location such as a porch, a patio corner, or adjacent to a window. Within merely 1 or 2 weeks, you will possess exquisitely dried herbs prepared for teas, culinary uses, or crafting homemade sachets. No requirement for sophisticated drying apparatus or intricate arrangements, simply exposure to air and a degree of practical knowledge. And for us seniors, there exists a profoundly gratifying element in conserving what we have nurtured, thereby prolonging the essence of our garden significantly into the colder seasons. It is akin to preserving a fragment of summer for enjoyment throughout the entire year. Tip 12. PVC pipes as vertical planters. Cultivate upwards, not outwards. Finally, let us transform an item from the hardware store into an advanced garden assistant, PVC pipes. Should you possess remnants from a plumbing task, ensure they are not discarded. These materials are lightweight, resilient, and exceptionally practical within the garden environment. Trim the pipe into brief segments, affix caps to the lower ends, and create several drainage apertures. You have the option to mount them onto a wall, configure them into a tower formation, or even arrange them stacked within a crate. Subsequently, fill them with soil and plant herbs, strawberries, or leafy greens. They are simple to maintain, retain moisture effectively, and occupy minimal area, rendering them ideal for patios or balconies. And crucially, they elevate everything to a height that is gentle on the back and knees. For us older gardeners, this represents sophisticated gardening achieved with minimal exertion, who decreed that intelligent design is exclusively reserved for the younger generation. Conclusion: a garden that evolves alongside you. And so concludes our presentation. 12 clever, inventive, and reassuring methods to revitalize your garden affordably. Conceived not solely with financial considerations, but with your specific needs paramount, your comfort, your preferred rhythm, your accumulated years of insight. Because engaging in gardening, particularly during our later years, transcends mere cultivation of flowers and produce. It embodies serenity, provides purpose, offers a motive to venture outdoors, inhale deeply, and derive satisfaction from something self-created, whether manifested as a drawer brimming with pansies, a bird bath fashioned from a cake tin, or a vintage suitcase flourishing with basil. Each suggestion shared today serves as evidence that beauty need not entail significant expense. All that is required is a measure of imagination and a spirit still eager to foster growth. Therefore, if this presentation sparked a fresh concept or rekindled your appreciation for the delights gardening offers, please signify your approval with a thumbs up. And remember to subscribe to Evergreen Seniors for additional gentle, uplifting garden wisdom. Until our next encounter, continue cultivating, continue creating, and above all, continue savoring every phase of existence, one blossom at a time.